Connecticut, Maine coach Jack Cosgrove needs just 4 more wins to become the winningest coach in Maine history. He was an all-Yankee Conference quarterback at Maine. Randy Edsall was a quarterback at Syracuse, and Randy is in his 9th season at the helm at UConn. UConn has won the toss and is elected to defer its choice at the start of the second half. Maine will receive, UConn will kick off, and Doug, there's something new when it comes to kickoffs this year.
Yeah, the college kickers they've gotten so strong. Really, the kickoff was dead. The majority of the kickoffs weren't being returned. Now, with kicking off at the 30-yard line, same as the NFL, you're going to get kickoff returns.
Desi Cullen will kick off. He had a kickoff return 94 yards for a touchdown last week by Duke. Back deep to return, Lemire Whetstone and Landis Williams. Whetstone, number 3, returned the opening kickoff last week against Monmouth. There he is, 69 yards to set up Maine.
Yeah, that was a great start to that football game, and if we can just get the ball to stay on the tee over here, we'll get this one kicked off.
Well, maybe the ground's not quite as level at the 30-yard line as it used to be at the 35.
There we go. Now we got it set.
Pretty soon they're going to be kicking off from the press box, the way the rules are going. And by the way, remember all those timing rules last year in college football? Well, they went back to the original thing. The clock doesn't start until the ball is touched. And this one will go right through the side of the end zone, so no time will go off the clock. A year ago, the clock would have begun, Doug, with the actual kick. So Maine will get the ball first, and they are led onto the field by their quarterback, Michael Brusco. He's in his first year at the helm, taking over for Ron Whitcomb, who started 45 consecutive games. It will be a no-huddle offense. And, Doug, we will see the no-huddle through most of the evening.
That's what we're going to see, and all the audibles come from the sideline. And Brusco had 109 yards rushing last week himself.
Out of the shotgun, empty backfield. Brusco has 2 wide receivers to each side, plus a tight end. And already he's changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
That audible came from the sideline.
In motion, now Fluellen lines up as the tailback and takes the handoff. He's met right at the line of scrimmage by Rob Lund, the junior from Penfield, New York. The rest of that Maine lineup, along with Brusco, Fluellen the tailback, Anthony Catrone the H-back, the wideouts Manzi Pierre and Landis Williams. Matthew Mulligan is the tight end. Williams had 3 catches for 33 yards. There they are up front. Jacob Fell started last week at left guard and right tackle tonight because of an ankle injury to Christopher Parcells. And in case you're wondering, the answer is yes. He is related to Bill Parcells. He's Bill's nephew, but he will not play tonight because of a bad ankle. Second down, about 9.5 for the Black Bears. Brusco looks left, throws, and it's intercepted. Intercepted and returned for a touchdown by Scott Lutris. How about that? Maine had all kinds of trouble throwing the football last week. They passed for only 64 yards, and the first time they put the ball in the air tonight, it turns into a disaster.
Well, take a look at this, and Scott Lutris had an interception last week. He's a redshirt freshman and got off to had a great one where he had 3 interceptions in the spring game. He is a redshirt freshman linebacker from Brookfield, Connecticut, and they love him. He's got a great future.
Scott Lutris, who plays the Husky linebacker position. Tony Chervino in to attempt the extra point. He missed one of his 4 last week against Duke, but he doesn't miss this one. So it took all of 48 seconds for the UConn Huskies to draw first blood. So, Doug, you coached your whole life before you made your way up to the broadcast booth. How in the world, if you're Jack Cosgrove, do you get your teammates to regroup and to recognize, well, we got the whole game ahead of us to make up for this? What a disastrous start.
Yeah, a terrible start for Maine, a great start for UConn. And I'll tell you, this Lutris kid, you know, he had 3 interceptions in the spring game. He's just a redshirt freshman. He's got a great knack for where he is on the field. That was a great break he made on that football, and obviously he's got great hands.
Last week, Brusco had 1 pass intercepted. He was 11 for 19, as we said, for only 64 yards, and he was intercepted once. And in talking this week to Jack Cosgrove, Doug, he told us Brusco needs to throw the ball better. He needs to use his legs more effectively, particularly when he rolls out, which is a big part of their offense. He's got to be able to pass for 300 yards when we need that to win.
Yeah, and there you see, of course, Jack looking on, not the way he wanted to start. And talking to Randy Edsall, they really want to force Brusco to throw the football. They're not sure that he can be effective throwing against their outstanding linebacker core with Lutris, Lansana, and Lawrence Wilson, another redshirt freshman.
Another good kick by Cullen. Once again, there will be no return. Whetstone catches it 5 yards deep into the end zone, and Maine will try it again. On the Black Bears' second play from scrimmage, the pass by Brusco intercepted and returned for a score by Scott Lutris.
With Cullen kicking, they're going to have to put it back to about the 20-yard line. Wow, I mean, he has just bombed these first 2 kickoffs. He's also the punter, of course, and he's quite a character. He calls himself the Kentucky Hammer. He's from Louisville, Kentucky, and we're going to take a look at him later in the game.
Calls himself that because he likes to get in on the tackle when he's on the field. Pierre is wide to the left. The H-back to Trone in motion. Handoff Llewellyn. And he's met right at the line of scrimmage by, first of all, Cody Brown. And he got absolutely nowhere. Joining Brown up front on that UConn front 4. And Brown is second in the Big East in sacks after 1 week. Williams, Lund, and Davis. There are your linebackers. Lansana tied for the Big East lead in tackles with Lawrence Wilson. Darius Butler is considered by Randy Edsall as best cover guy in the Husky secondary. Second down UConn, second down Maine at the 20. Brusco fakes the handoff on the option. Rolls left, picks up about 6 yards off the left side. Bringing up a 3rd down and 4.
In this spread offense that so many teams are running, including Appalachian State last week, and of course Oregon today, and a bunch of teams are running this offense, and it really does make you play assignment football on the option. And you see Jack looking on. Boy, what a job he's done at Maine.
Make it an 8-yard gain, 3rd and 2. There were his numbers last week in the win over Monmouth on 3rd down a week ago. Maine was 7 for 15. Handoff Llewellyn. It's going to be very close. I think he's short. Looks like where the officials have the ball spotted, he has not reached the 30, and this is no place on the football field to be gambling on 4th down.
And I watched practice up here yesterday in Connecticut, and I watched this UConn defense, and boy, I'll tell you what, that front 7, I mean, they are really, really impressive athletically. There you see Jamal Llewellyn coming off. And Randy Edsall in recruiting here has, boy, I tell you, talk about upgrading a program rapidly. There is a lot of talent on this field tonight for UConn.
Cash keeper into punt, back deep for UConn is Larry Taylor. Didn't have a chance to return a punt at all against Duke, but he is a big-time threat. Returned one for a touchdown in the Motor City Bowl back in 2004. He'll run this one back. Fields it at his own 26. Moves forward for about 12 or 13 yards before he's brought down by Patrick McCrossin. So UConn gets the ball for the first time tonight, and the Huskies already have 7 points in the bank. In 3rd in the Big East in passing yards after only 1 week. The win over Duke last week. He's a junior college transfer. This is his first appearance as a UConn quarterback at Rentschler Field. First possession for the Huskies, 1st and 10 at their 39. They lead it 7-0. With a shotgun. Lone setback with him is Donald Brown, and he gets the handoff. Nothing doing there. That black hole defense came up big time. Jordan Stevens from one of the outside linebacker spots made the stop. Along with Brown, Anthony Davis in the backfield. Terrence Jeffers had 8 catches a week ago. He and DJ Hernandez are the wideouts. Steve Browse is the tight end. And up front for UConn, because of an injury to Lawrence Green, Mike Hicks will get the start at left guard. Donald Thomas at right guard. William Beatty is the Huskies' best offensive lineman. High formation. Davis the fullback. Brown the tailback. Lorenzen wants to throw, and is throwing for Cunyu. Makes the catch and goes out of bounds inside the Maine 30.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tyler Lorenzen, and I watched a lot of tape yesterday, and of course this young guy Cunyu is an outstanding speed receiver, but just take a look at this now. He can make all the throws. I mean, he puts this one right on the money, beat badly down the sideline. A lot of speed there with Cunyu. Perfect throw. he is very, very, very accurate. I'm really impressed with him.
He's got 2 catches this season, Doug, for 76 yards. That's a pretty good average. But so far, the Huskies have not been able to run the ball very effectively. 2 carries for Brown and a big loss both times. And again, Jordan Stevens with the stop. Javon Belcher had a big game against Monmouth, 13 tackles. He's up front with Piricello, Durisman, and McCrossin. You see Stevens, he's made 2 plays already. Warmoth is the Black Bears' most active linebacker. And in the secondary, Lemire Whetstone started last week at corner, will get the start at free safety this evening against UConn. 2nd down and 15 following the 5-yard loss. Empty backfield behind Lorenzen. Throws right, incomplete. Missed his man DJ Hernandez, and Doug Hernandez was converted from quarterback to wideout, and he had a touchdown catch last week against Duke.
Yeah, he's a really good athlete. In fact, I spoke to him yesterday at the he was started quarterback last year for UConn. After the 6th practice in the spring, he said, "Coach, I think maybe I'll move to wide receiver because of Mr. Lorenzen."
Last week, UConn was 6 for 17 on 3rd down. This is a big 3rd down, 3rd and 15. Out of the gun. Lorenzen has all kinds of time, and the pocket closes on him. And he's brought down from behind by Andrew Downey after a pickup of perhaps a yard. So the line of scrimmage is the 34. Kind of no man's land. It looks like they're going to send the punter onto the field, Doug.
At this Maine front now, I'll tell you, they're really going to have their hands full. They led the nation in rushing defense last year, giving up 64 yards a game. They are very athletic, their front 7, and that's why they're able to play all these Division I teams so tough. They play great defense, the black hole defense for Maine.
Well, it won't be the punt team. It will be Tony Chervino attempting a 51-yard field goal. Angled to the right, and he didn't get enough leg. So a very successful defensive stand by Maine. They gave up the big 35-yard gain on the pass, but other than that, they shut the Huskies down.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I watched him at practice yesterday. He is very capable and can hit that long of a field goal. But, you know, like a lot of times with kickers, when you try to hit it too hard, you just kind of lose your time. He hit that way too low, really missed it. Not a good kick.
Randy Edsel told us this week that Chervino is ranged about 52 yards with the wind at his back, but he really didn't get into that one. So Maine takes over at the 34-yard line. Much better field possession than they had it on their first 2 possessions. So far, the Black Bears 5 plays on offense for 10 yards and that big interception return for a score. Llewellyn, the tailback. They have picked up a yard and a half on the play. Tackle made by Julius Williams, who had a sack for a safety in last week's win over Duke. And there's Lindsey Witten, who's in the lineup at the defensive end spot at the other end. Number 9, sophomore out of Cleveland.
This front 7, I'll tell you what, for Connecticut, boy, they are very athletic, especially these down 4. They'll rotate 8 defensive linemen throughout this game to keep them fresh.
Rusko out of the shotgun. Throws left, has his first completion of the night. It's caught by Antonio Walcott, but he lost a yard on the play. Darius Butler made the stop. Randy Edsel considers Butler his best cover guy in the secondary. And last week against Duke, he returned an interception, 36 yards for a score.
Yeah, this is just a little wide receiver screen. A good block there on Lutris. But I'll tell you what, Darius Butler, now he is a tough, veteran, hard-nosed corner. He knows how to play these wide receiver screens. Breaks down, nice open field tackle.
3rd down and 8 for the Black Bears. There's a look at Butler, the 5'11", 185-pound junior out of Fort Lauderdale. The interception against Duke last week, the 9th of his career. Rusto looks to throw, screen to the left to the tight end Mulligan, and he's hit by Dan Davis. The self-proclaimed Danimal made the stop at the 45-yard line along with Lawrence Wilson, and Wilson comes off the field limping.
Take a look at Davis now. He's the right defensive tackle, and he reads the screen and is fast enough to get there. He was a defensive end last year, and at 6'1", 284, he moved down to defensive tackle. He's also the captain.
And to do the punting will be Cash Kiefer on Kiefer's first punt tonight, it was a 45-yarder and a 13-yard return for Larry Taylor. Taylor will field this one at his own 20. First man missed him, second man did not. So good coverage by the Maine special teams. Lionel Nixon made the stop, and Jack Cosgrove over the years has prided himself on the special teams play of the Black Bears. UConn ball up 7 when we come back. Doug Graber back in East Hartford, Connecticut, where UConn leads 7-0 thanks to a 25-yard interception return for a score by Scott Lutris. First and 10 Huskies just inside their own 20-yard line. Pitch right to Donald Brown, who lost 9 yards on his first 2 carries, and that time he picked up about 20. Lemire Whetstone made the stop. 16-yard gain for Brown, who a year ago was second team all Big East.
Yeah, and of course, that's the reason you shift to tight end late like they did. The whole Maine defense tried to shift with them, and you can't do it. Not enough time. Snap the ball early, catch him, and they caught him.
This time Lorenzen out of the gun again. With Brown right next to him. Looks left, throws left, fires, and it's intercepted by Stephen Barker. First interception of the year for the sophomore from Teaneck, New Jersey. And Tyler Lorenzen has been picked off for the second time this season.
Well, obviously a poor decision. This is a zone blitz coming. He sees the blitz, but it's a zone blitz. He's got the corner sitting out there in the flat. He misread the coverage, made a mistake. That's the reason for that interception. He saw the blitz, thought it was a man blitz, but it was a zone blitz. There's a big difference.
Maine entered the game third in the country among FCS team football championship subdivision in pass defense. Nothing happening on the carry to the left side by Fluellen. Lutris made the stop. Lutris had 8 tackles last week against Duke, and after 1 week he's 8th in the Big East in that category.
Well, I'll tell you, Lutris is, you know, when you get a linebacker that can cover in space like he can, there's not much room for Fluellen. He redshirt freshman. I'm amazed at his awareness and his vision.
Playing in his home state out of Brookfield. So it'll be second down and 13 for the Black Bears following that 3-yard loss. In motion is Fluellen. Brusco fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, and has some room. Wilson made the stop in UConn territory at about the 48-yard line. That will leave a third down and about 6. 8-yard pickup for Brusco, who's a genuine threat at running the football. Doug, he had 109 yards last week.
He's big, you know, he's 6'3", 215. He's tough, he's hard-nosed. You see it right there, and I'll tell you, you're going to see a lot of that. Dana Delliston, number 36, is the best run force guy at that safety spot. He's a tough, hard-nosed, run-filled player. They'll bring him up in the box a bunch tonight.
Playing literally in his hometown. Played at East Catholic High School in Manchester. Lives right here in East Hartford. On third down, Fluellen on the screen, and he's going to lose about 7 yards. Lutris and Danny Lansana making the stop. Randy Edsel considers Lansana his best linebacker in pass coverage.
You know, this front, again, for Connecticut, I watched them practice. Boy, are they athletic, and can they run. I mean, this is a Big East caliber defense. And there you see Lansana right now. He's led the team in tackles 2 years.
Randy Edsel told me Lansana is experienced, mature, and a leader, and he makes it all tick for us. Defensive side of the ball. Kiefer's averaged 42.5 yards in his first 2 kicks. Taylor will let this one bounce, now pick it up on a hop. Tries to change directions, reverses his field, then cuts back. And managed to get out to the 30-yard line, but that was an eventful brief return of 12 yards for the senior from Fort Lauderdale, who's had an injury-riddled career here at UConn. The Huskies were picked off on their last possession. How will Lorenzen bounce back? They're up 7-0. Ball following the punt. Handoff, Donald Brown, a huge hole on the right side. And Brown's going to pick up about 10 yards. It looks like he may have enough for another first down. Whetstone made the stop. What adjustment, Doug, has UConn made offensively after losing 9 yards in Brown's first 2 carries?
Well, that time right there, they caught him in a run-down blitz, and they caught him. Andrew Downey blitzed to the tight end side, and they ran the football away from it, and they gashed him. But, you know, Maine has taken a lot of gambles up front. They're getting a lot of penetration on defense, running a lot of run-down blitzes and movement blitzes. Here comes another one.
Brown had 27 yards in his last 2 carries after losing 9 in his first 2, and he picks up 7 more on first down. Brown, a terrific story. Last year, second-team All-Big East performer. In his first career start against Rutgers, 28 carries for 199 yards and 2 touchdowns. There are his totals last week against Duke. Took the job over from Terry Cawley when Cawley was injured a year ago, and Cawley never got it back for the tail half of his senior year. This time, Brown is in motion, and it's an empty backfield for Lorenzen. Looks left, throws, has his man Cunyu across the middle for the first down. Brandon McLaughlin making the stop. Tyler Lorenzen, his second game as a UConn quarterback, but it's been a long journey to get from California to Storrs, Connecticut.
Well, it sure was. Take a look at it here. It came out of Fremont High School in Iowa, went to Iowa State, moved to wide receiver, went to Palomar Junior College. All-American out there, 2007, starter here at UConn.
Handoff. Brown stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Big hit there made by Jamal Foreman, senior from Vineland, New Jersey, who shares that outside linebacker spot with Jordan Stevens.
And you know, there's a reason that Maine led NCAA in rushing defense last year at 64 yards a game. They're very athletic, very aggressive up front, run a lot of run-down blitzes, and get penetration. That's what kills the running game, and they're getting a bunch of it.
He only gave up 61 yards to Monmouth on the ground last week. Lorenzen, plenty of time, fires, has his man, the tight end, Browse across the middle to the 25-yard line and a first down. Browse had a couple of catches for 15 yards and a touchdown against Duke.
And of course, that's the answer right there. If you're going to blitz and zone blitz on almost every down, you have to get the ball down the seams of the 3-deep zone, and that's what that is right there. The tight end going right down the seam behind the linebackers and between the corner and safety.
2 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Handoff. Brown, again the penetration, and again Foreman was the first man to get there. He's made his presence felt.
Well, you know, in talking to Jack Cosgrove this week, and he was absolutely correct. He knew that to stop this running game of UConn, they were going to have to do a lot of stunts up front, get a lot of penetration, and I'll tell you, they're getting it. Now, the problem is, you know, occasionally you're going to give up a big play when you do that.
He told us we have to be great tacklers and we have to take chances. Handoff. Brown up the middle. Gets to about the 21-yard line before he's stopped by Patrick McCrossin and Lionel Nixon Jr. Nixon, one of 6 Maine players playing in his home state of Connecticut tonight out of the Hyde School in New Haven.
Take a look at Donald Brown on the ISO. And by the way, that was a very good block by Anthony Davis, the freshman fullback, who replaced Deion Anderson, who is now with the Dallas Cowboys as a fullback.
3 UConns on NFL opening day rosters. UConn is 0 for 1 on third downs tonight. Lorenzen looks left, has Cunyu, makes the catch, spins forward, and his second effort gets him the first down. Javon Belcher and Andrew Downey making the stop.
Well, you know, Cunyu just had the 1 reception last week against Duke, and already in the first quarter, I think that's at least his 3rd, I believe. And we saw him last year as a true freshman, and I'll tell you what now, this young guy has got some real talent. He's from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. He was a 100-meter guy. He can really run, and that's right on the money by Tyler Lorenzen.
We're going to get a timeout called here by Maine. I think Maine was tried to make a late substitution, and they were running the risk of having too many men on the field, so they got the timeout. Cunyu indeed with 3 catches for 53 yards. As we look at Jack Cosgrove, who was an all-Yankee Conference quarterback at Maine. One of his coaches at Maine was Jack Bicknell. And when Jack McNell became the head coach at Boston College, that was Jack Cosgrove's first coaching job as an assistant there. Randy Edsall, also an assistant at Boston College under Tom Coughlin.
He sure was. In fact, I got to tell you this, when I was the head coach at Rutgers, I was so impressed with him, I tried to hire him away from Boston College. I couldn't get him, and he made a good decision to stay, because then he went with Tom Coughlin to the Jacksonville Jaguars and got some great experience there. But I've known Randy a long time. He has really worked his way up through the ranks and done a great job here at UConn.
Also defensive coordinator at Georgia Tech when they won the Gator Bowl before he came to UConn. Here's Donald Brown, right side, patiently tries to pick his way, but there's nothing there. John Warmoth made the stop. Jack Cosgrove calls him Johnny Football. He lives for the game. He's a 24/7 football guy. He makes sure everybody knows what they're supposed to do.
And take a look at the pursuit here. And I'll tell you, this Maine defense runs. They're relentless. And, of course, what a great job that was right there. But they really play hard-nosed defense. That's why they can hang so tough against every Division I team they play.
DJ Hernandez, remember he was a quarterback the last 2 years, lines up his quarterback, takes the direct snap out of the shotgun, and gets nowhere. So a little bit of trickery from Randy Edsall. Looked like he had Lorenzen motion out wide, and then Hernandez, who's in his second game as a wide receiver, motioned into the backfield and took the snap.
Yeah, and of course we saw him last year score the 2-point conversion scrambling against Pitt to win the game. He can really run, and that's exactly why they had him back there and ran the quarterback draw.
And when last seen, Hernandez was throwing the ball literally out of the stadium after scoring the 2-point conversion. We're at the end of the first quarter. Some sights and sounds on home opening night. UConn with a 7-0 lead. Cozy, Doug Graber back at UConn, where Randy Edsall's UConn Huskies have a 7-0 lead over Maine, and they have the ball to start the second quarter. 3rd down and 12 at the Maine 15. Huskies 1 for 2 on 3rd down conversion so far tonight. Tyler Lorenzen fakes the handoff to Donald Brown. Looks, has all day to throw. Completes the pass across the middle, short of the first down, to DJ Hernandez. Hernandez made a great open field run after a catch last week against Doug, and he took it all the way in for the touchdown.
Yeah, and of course Maine that time just kind of sat back and played a zone, and all that was there was the underneath route. A good conversion by the linebackers. Only got about 6 yards on it.
Tony Chervino into attempt a 24-yard field goal. He's 3 for 5 on field goal attempts this year. He's 1 for 1 from this distance, 20 to 29-yard line. And he tucks this one inside the right upright. So Chervino, the junior from Boca Raton, Florida, extends the Huskies' lead to 10-0. But so far, it's been a very representative effort by the Maine defense.
Boy, I guess so. Take a look at the stats here now. It's been very tough defense by Maine. Look at the rushing yards. That's the key. Connecticut only 24 rushing yards, 75 passing. But on the other hand, UConn has played great rushing defense against Maine as well.
So the Chervino kick makes it a 10-0 lead. UConn will be right back here at Rentschler Field next Saturday to host Temple. And Temple was drilled today by the University of Buffalo. Of course, Temple, a former Big East team, and we'll have that game for you on many of these stations on your Big East network at noon next Saturday. Doug and I will be right back here at Rentschler Field to bring that one to you. And it's an interesting dynamics between these two programs, Doug, because Temple was once in the Big East and was basically shown the door. They were very non-competitive in the Big East and eventually were replaced in the Big East by UConn. Now, a lot of things have happened since then, with Virginia Tech and Boston College and Miami leaving the Big East and the new teams coming aboard. But Temple did not like it at all when they were asked to leave.
No, they were very disappointed. But you know what? I have to say this. They just could not draw, and it was almost embarrassing to go into Temple at the Vet
Now they're playing at Lincoln Financial Field.
But still, I mean, they just can't seem to draw and can't seem to get it going in that respect.
And they are now in their first year in the Mid-American Conference. And they will be here next Saturday to take on the Huskies. Desi Cullen will kick off. He has driven both of his kicks into the end zone. That was going in the opposite direction. It appears that he's kicking into a little bit of wind going from left to right.
Boy, that's a big kick into the wind. It really is.
And Whetstone with a chance to return it from the 5. He will be knocked down at the 15-yard line. After a 9-yard return. Luchers was in on the stop along with Matt Ashmead.
Yeah, take a look at this hit now by Ashmead right here, number 23. Wow. Damn, now that's playing special teams right there.
So 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line for Maine. Brusco 2 carries for 16 yards, 3 for 4 in the air for -3 yards. And of course, the one pass he did not complete. He didn't hit the ground either. It was returned the other way for a touchdown by Luchers. Llewellyn lines up at the tailback spot. Both Llewellyn and Brusco rushed for 100 yards last week against Maine. Hand off to Llewellyn. Nothing happening there. He's driven back for a loss at the 14-yard line. Loss of about 3. Lansana in to make the stop.
You know, and Lansana is so quick. He's coming all the way from the middle linebacker spot. You know, and he's about 245 pounds. That's pretty good quickness. That's why he's led this defensive tackles 2 years in a row. And I bet he does it again this year.
Randy Edsel feels that Lansana is his best linebacker against the run. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. In motion is Walcott. Brusco rolls right on the option. Tries to turn the corner. Wilson won't let him, and we have our first penalty flag of the night. It took 16.5 minutes before we got a penalty, Doug.
Yeah, and this might be a face mask. I couldn't tell for sure, but somebody might have got a paw in on Brusco right there. Let's wait and see here. Nope, hold.
Referee tonight is Gerard McGinn.
Holding on the offense. Number 8. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Penalty called on wide receiver Manzi Pierre, and it will be declined.
Yep, he's watch the left side of the screen now, trying to block the corner right there, and yeah, he had him wrapped up pretty good.
3rd down and 12. Brusco looks like he's changing the play. Maine was penalized 8 times for 89 yards last week against Monmouth. Dangerous spot on the field, and Brusco on the quarterback keeper, and he'll lose more yards. And Maine didn't have a single positive thing happen on that possession. Great penetration by Rob Lund, the junior from Penfield, New York, who made the stop.
And I tell you, Rob Lund really has a motor, and he's one of the leaders of this front 4. Take a look at the penetration right there. And Rob wraps those big old arms around him, and down he goes. You know what? They have 8 guys in this defensive line that are extremely athletic. They're going to be very, very tough in the Big East this year. No question about that in my mind.
Cash Kiefer standing in his own goal line. He's averaged 40.7 yards per punt his first 3 kicks. Larry Taylor back at his own 40, hoping to return. And he will get a chance. Good kick, drives him back to the 35. And we're going to get a clipping penalty called on Darius Butler. So instead of beginning the possession at the 48 where Taylor was tackled, this one's going to come back.
You know, Taylor is so good in the open field that really he would have easily avoided that guy one-on-one. But you know, Darius Butler just trying to make a play, but no question, he definitely got him in the back. That was a good call by the officials.
It'll be the first penalty of the night on UConn. Last week against Duke, they were penalized 9 times for 67 yards.
You know, as a coach, obviously, you know, no coach likes penalties, but that's what I call an effort penalty, and that's just a mistake.
UConn with a 10-0 lead, looking for a 2-0 start. That Jack Cosgrove has brought his Maine Black Bears to Connecticut since 1998. That game was on the UConn campus at Memorial Stadium. It was before Rentschler Field was built. So it's the first time Maine has had a chance to play in this new state-of-the-art facility. Handoff, Donald Brown on first down. Whetstone finally brought him down, but not before he picked up 11 yards and a first down.
You know, Donald Brown, I'll tell you, his biggest asset as a running back is he is so strong, incredibly strong. You know, he deadlifts 640 pounds, and just take a look at the leg strength and drive right here. He's a kinesiology major. Probably going to end up being a strength coach. He loves that weight room.
UConn is renowned for having an outstanding kinesiology program. Lorenzen to throw. Has lots of time, looking deep down. Wanted Jeffers, and Jeffers had his man beat, but it was overthrown.
And he had to throw that just a little bit quicker than he wanted because he had some pressure coming and he felt it. He let it go just a little bit early.
Jeffers had 8 catches for 92 yards in the win over Duke last week.
All right, take a look at it. Now watch the pressure here coming from his right. He feels it. He knows he has to get rid of it. Let it go just a little bit early. And about 2 yards overthrown.
Lorenzen now has completed 5 of 8. Handoff. Brown straight up the gut. And he picked up about 4.5 yards. The Big East off to a terrific start this year, and this is what they did a year ago. They had the second best non-conference record among the BCS bowl conferences, and already this year, Doug, with the wins today by West Virginia and Pittsburgh, the Huskies are 12-1 in non-league play this year. The only loss, Syracuse losing to Washington in week 1.
Yeah, plus 5-0 in the bowl games last year. I mean, wow, the Big East is nobody could have predicted this.
Earlier today, Pittsburgh beat Grambling and West Virginia beat Marshall. Lorenzen's pass is caught by Jeffers. Tried to spin away, could not. And he's going to be about 3 yards shy of the first down. Warmoth made the stop. Warmoth, a third-team All-Atlantic 10 selection at linebacker a year ago.
And now watch this. Now, if he leads him and puts this ball out front, he makes the first down. But it was just a little bit underthrown, and that allowed the tackle to be made. If he hits him right on the front number, he's gone. He gets the first.
First punt by Desi Cullen, who averaged 39.4 yards. We can go low snap. Picks it up off the turf. Fair catch signaled for by Landis Williams at the 15-yard line. And that's where Maine will take over. But a big tackle on third down by the Black Bears, stopping the Huskies' possession. And when we come back, Maine down 10 will have the football deep in its own territory. Change quarterbacks 5 minutes into the second quarter. Adam Farkas, 6'2", 198-pound redshirt freshman out of Boston. This is his first collegiate snap. His coach was a quarterback during his playing days in Maine. Bet you that heart's pumping a little bit fast right now. Farkas on the handoff, perhaps a 1-yard pickup. Brandon Dillon, sophomore from Rochester, made the stop. Brusco tonight 3 for 4. There's the stop made by Dillon. Brusco 3 for 4 for -3 yards. He was intercepted, and indeed that interception was returned for a touchdown. He also had 4 carries for 15 yards. Does this surprise you, Doug?
Well, a little bit, you know, but again, I think to be competitive offensively against UConn, you're going to have to be able to throw the football. And Farkas is supposedly a little better thrower.
And several penalty flags on the play. Might be a false start here against the Black Bears.
Prior to snap. False start on the offense. Number 66. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Jake Surdy called for the penalty. We are at Rentschler Field in East Hartford, Connecticut, about a half hour from the UConn campus and stores. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Doug Graber. So glad you've joined us for Big East football on this Saturday night. Jack Cosgrove's Maine Black Bears trying to bounce back from an interception return for a touchdown on their first possession. They trailed 10-0. And he has changed quarterbacks, going with redshirt freshman Adam Farkas. Handoff for Llewellyn. He's got room. And Llewellyn gets it all the way out to the 29-yard line, and that's enough for a first down before Luttress made the stop.
Yeah, first crack that UConn has shown, and right here, oh yeah, look at the cutback lane, big time cutback lane right there, and Brandon Dillon really he got knocked out of that hole, and there's where the lane develops.
Christopher Arneo opened up the hole. Llewellyn entering the day third in the Colonial Athletic Association in rushing, 125 yards last week. Llewellyn again with a handoff. This time nothing happening as Cody Brown made the stop. Cody Brown last year missed the last 6 games of the season with a broken arm. He was having a fabulous season. He's considered by his coach the best defensive lineman against the pass and the run.
Yeah, you see him right there. I'll tell you what now, 6'3", 250 pounds, benches 425. And I'll tell you what, he is a physically imposing defensive end. Great looking athlete.
Randy Edsall told me he can play the run and the pass. He plays with so much more leverage because of all the time he has spent in the weight room. Empty backfield for Farkas. Now Llewellyn motions into the backfield, and he'll get the handoff. And again, the stop is made by Cody Brown behind the line of scrimmage. Brown having a field day on this Maine possession.
Well, he was absolutely unblocked. I mean, nobody touched him. Now, I'll tell you what, watch this right here. He is totally unblocked coming from the right part of your screen. That is obviously a mistake in the Maine blocking schemes, because I'll tell you one thing, you better block number 50.
Maine is 0 for 4 on third down conversions. This will be a third and about 14 for Farkas. Will we see his first collegiate pass? It is. It's a shuffle pass, nevertheless a pass. And Llewellyn is not going to get out of the grips of Wilson, who had a handful of Llewellyn and then waited till he got some help.
Well, you know, Wilson got his chance to start. He's, again, just a redshirt freshman at outside backer because Ryan Hennigan is hurt right now. But he played very, very well against Duke last week, and it looks like he's having another good night tonight.
So Kiefer in the punt yet again. For the 5th time, he's averaging 43.3 yards per punt. And there's Larry Taylor back to return. Taylor, one of 2 players in UConn history to return a punt and return a kickoff for a touchdown in the same season. The other one, Nick Giaquinto, who played in 2 Super Bowls with the Washington Redskins. Beautiful kick by Kiefer. Sends Taylor all the way back to the 23-yard line. Cuts back and is brought down by Downey at the 35-yard line. About a 12-yard return. And from there, UConn will take over, leading 10-0. So far, the UConn defense has been absolutely dominant against the Maine team, which again is from the football championship subdivision, formerly known as 1AA. And UConn is 5-0 since making the jump to 1A against teams that were from the old 1AA. They beat Florida Atlantic, Lehigh, Murray State, Liberty, and Rhode Island. Hernandez in motion left. Lorenzen, just before he got drilled, got the ball off, and it may have affected the throw.
Boy, drilled. I heard that collision up here. I mean, that was hat to hat. And I'll tell you what, I am very, very impressed with this defensive game plan by Maine. Defensive coordinator Rob Smith, they are not sitting back. They are aggressive. They're blitzing. They're getting penetration. They're giving UConn all they can handle.
Lorenzen has passed for 87 yards. Handoff, Brown to the 40. Pick up a 5, 3rd and 5. Warmoth again made the stop for the Black Bears.
Good job. Much more manageable 3rd and 5 than 3rd and 10. That's for sure. And you know, and looking at Brown, you know, I saw him last year. He struggled a little bit last week against Duke. He's very strong. He runs north and south, but he didn't make many people miss. And he hasn't done that tonight either yet.
Huskies are 1 for 4 on third downs tonight. Lorenzen has plenty of time. Swing past Taylor, makes the first guy miss. And he's going to be very close to the first down. I think he's going to be about a foot or two short. Needs to get out to the 45-yard line, and they're going to mark it just across the 44. And it looks like Randy Edsall with the 10-0 lead will send his punter, Desi Cullen, onto the field. And I know you, from your coaching days, Doug, you think that there's nothing more normal than a punter, right?
Oh, man, I tell you, punters and kickers, we're going to get a look at Desi Cullen here at some point on the sideline. They're not like regular football players, believe me.
Spiraling kick. Fair catch signaled for by Williams at the 15. Second straight time he's made the fair catch at the 15-yard line. Maine has struggled offensively in the football game. They've yet to put up any points on the board, and they will take over with very poor field position once again. The punter, Desi Cullen.
I don't think that is a quite natural hair color. In fact, you know what he calls it? Calls it irresistible blonde.
And what's his nickname again?
He is the Kentucky Hammer.
Because he fancies himself as a real threat at making the tackles on. Is that the deal on kickoffs and punts?
They're fun though.
He hasn't made any tackles. Well, he hasn't had to make any tackles. But he keeps kicking the ball in the end zone.
He's punted great and he's kicked off great. He could beat pig hair as far as I'm concerned.
Second possession for Maine since making the quarterback change, and now we're going to get a delay of game penalty. Now,
delay of game on the offense. Number 7, 5-yard penalty. Remains. First down.
Now there's one of the new rules in college football this year is coming out of TV timeouts.
That's
the
right.
Play clock is at 15 instead of at 25.
That's right.
So you have to be prepared for that. And Farkas, perhaps a sign of his inexperience, this is only his second possession as a college quarterback. Did not get the playoff within the allotted 15 seconds.
Yeah, you got always as a quarterback, you have to have your eye on that 25-second clock.
Or 15-second clock in this case.
Exactly.
Farkas looking to throw for the first time. It's incomplete. Boy, that was a dangerous throw. It whistled right by the hip of linebacker Lawrence Wilson. The intended receiver was Manzi Pierre.
But I'll tell you what, look at this UConn front run. I mean, that was Lansana right there putting the pressure on. But that whole front seven, boy, they are athletic and they can run. I can't tell you how impressed I am with that group.
Second down and 15 from the 10-yard line. You have to be very careful not to turn the ball over here. That would be a disaster. 3 wide receivers to the right. Farkas on the play fake keeps it himself. Nice cutback, gets out to the 25, about a 10-yard pickup. Lutris with the stop. He's been all over the field tonight as Lutris, and now Farkas facing the third down. Maine 0 for 5 on third down.
And I'll tell you, that was Lawrence Wilson, if you notice, number 8, that really, he took that fake so badly to the running back, to Llewellyn, that he lost his pursuit entirely.
Farkas will celebrate his 20th birthday tomorrow. I wondered if he envisioned that he would see action for the first time at Maine the night before his birthday. Rolls right, throws, completes the pass, and he's got the first down. He hits his tight end, Matthew Mulligan, demonstrating excellent poise for the 8-yard gain.
Really did, because again, Mr. Lansana was all over him, putting a tremendous amount of heat on him. Take a look at it right here. Watch Lansana slip this block right there. Slip the block. And a nice throw. Nice throw by the freshman.
Pick the right receiver and the right moment to throw the football. First and 10 Black Bears at their own 28. 3:41 remaining first half. Handoff, Llewellyn. Nice cutback. Spin move and picks up about 10.
And Llewellyn, of course, interesting story himself, how he ended up at Maine, went to Syracuse. We got officials timeout here. Let's
to measure, yeah.
Yep, they're going to measure right here. You see Llewellyn, and he never passed his physical at Syracuse. He had some heart issues, and finally he wanted to play ball so badly. Ended up transferring. He was at Syracuse 2 years, never played. Transferred to Maine, and he's really been good ever since. And that was a great run by him right there to get that first down. He really just wanted to play football. He obviously passed the physical at Maine. They felt that his heart issue was really not going to bother him in terms of being a football player.
And one of the influences in coming to Maine was his former high school teammate Darren Stone at Lockport High School. Stone, who will begin his NFL career tomorrow with the Atlanta Falcons. He is on the 53-man roster. They went to the same high school. Llewellyn rushed for 3,400 yards at Lockport High School, including 2,005 yards in his senior year in 2003. Here's Llewellyn on first down. No, nice play fake by Farkas, but he didn't get anywhere. Lansana stayed at home in football parlance to make the stop.
Boy, that's what a senior linebacker can do for you. I mean, he did not take that fake at all. He diagnosed the play immediately. And look at him right here, fill this thing. And I tell you, he is a load in space at 244 pounds.
Had 10 tackles last week against Duke after week 1 tied for the lead in the Big East in that category with his teammate Lawrence Wilson. Second down and 12. Farkas on the quarterback draw bounces off the first tackler. Mike Cox made the initial hit, and he may have picked up a half yard.
Mike Cox ran right through the block by Christopher Arneo. And Mike Cox, another redshirt freshman in this front seven. Outstanding recruiting the last couple years for Randy Edsall.
Cox from West Hempstead, New York, the shadows of the Hofstra University campus. Hofstra, like Maine, plays in the 12-team Colonial Athletic Association football conference. It used to be called the Atlantic 10, renamed this year the CAA. Farkas is pass juggled, caught by Llewellyn, but he is run down from behind. Well short of the first down. Rob Lund made the stop. And with 1:35, let's see if Randy Edsall is going to use one of those timeouts in defense.
Well, I'll tell you, look at Rob Lund right here. The pursuit on the screen. Defensive line coach Hank Hughes is going to be happy with that, because that's taught. That's exactly how they teach those defensive tackles, to read screen, pull off rushing the quarterback, and run and pursue those screens. Outstanding job by Rob Lund right there. And there you see Farkas heading to the sideline.
So indeed, UConn will use its first timeout defensively, try to preserve as much time for the offense to try to make something happen with 1:35 remaining. Another new rule this year, the charge timeout by a team when there's not a TV timeout is 30 seconds shorter, all in an effort to try to quicken the game. But as we said, they restored the two rules that they changed last year. They reversed them again this year, where the clock does not start till the ball is snapped on a change of possession, and it does not start on a kickoff until the ball is actually touched by the return team.
Oh,
here's
out.
Taylor.
Look
got
out.
some room. Left side. Driven out of bounds by Sean Wasson at the 35-yard line with 1:28 remaining in the half. 15-yard return, 38-yard punt, and it will be UConn ball.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're playing with fire here with Taylor, because he is so quick and so explosive, and if they keep giving him returns and opportunities like this, it's just a matter of time. He's going to break one. He was really one tackle away there from breaking it.
Randy Edsall told me this week that when kicking into the wind, there's a little bit of breeze that UConn's going into. He considers Tony Chervino's range about 47 yards. So that would mean UConn would have to get to the 30-yard line. On first down, the pass is dropped. Intended for the tight end Browse.
Yeah, and really that was a good throw, because Lorenzen threw it away from the defender. Watch this. The defender is outside. He threw it inside, and he just wasn't quite able to get his body turned around and get back to the football.
Lorenzen 7 for 12 for 91 yards. There are his totals. Had the one interception. Second down, looks right, throws for Taylor, threw it too low. Taylor tried to go down and make the shoestring catch, could not, with 1:20 remaining in the half on 3rd and 10.
You know, Lorenzen was so poised in that game against Duke, and frankly, we have not seen the same accuracy from him here yet tonight. There may be a little bit of pressure. First game in front of the home crowd and everything else. He looks like he is just pressing just a little bit. But boy, was he impressive against Duke.
354 yards in total offense a week ago. The 6th highest total in the country after 1 week. 3rd down and 10 from the 35. UConn 1 for 5 on 3rd downs. Lorenzen scrambles, takes off with the ball, avoids one hit, and he gets very close to the 1st down. All depends on the spot.
You know, he's 6'5", 226. He doesn't look quick, but you know he does have the 1st down. But he's kind of sneaky fast.
Ball at the 45. 1:08 remaining in the half. Throws to his right. Ball juggled and caught for another 1st down. Clock does not stop. Downey with the stop. Brous with the catch. 11-yard pickup. And they stop the clock because they have to advance the chains. As soon as we get the ready to play signal, the clock will continue. 1 minute, 59 seconds. Low snap. Lorenzen looks across the middle again to Donald Brown. And I think UConn may use a timeout here at the 36-yard line. 49 seconds. Look like they're not going to use one. They have 2 left. They're inching closer to field goal range.
Yeah, they're averaging about almost 10 yards a crack here.
Wide right Jeffers, and Taylor is in the slot to the right. Lorenzen getting good protection again. This ball was underthrown. I think he threw that away on purpose. Nothing was available. So by doing that, he avoided the turnover and also managed to stop the clock. Coming up at halftime, we will have a Big East report. We'll take a quick spin around the league. We will hear from a former Heisman Trophy winner with some of his choices for consideration for this year's Heisman Trophy, plus first half highlights. That's all coming up at halftime. 3rd down and about 2. So the Huskies need to get the 1st down. 28 seconds left. Handoff Donald Brown. He's got the 1st down, and they're now in field goal range.
Should be a timeout. No, not on the until they get the.
I think they're going to call it anyway.
Up there.
Randy Edsel signaled for it anyway.
Yeah, he did. Okay.
22 seconds left. It will be 1st down UConn at the 23-yard line. They're already in field goal range. So, Doug, how many plays left do you think UConn has before they try the field goal?
Well, of course, obviously it depends on the plays, but certainly at least 2. And you know, and of course they have 2 timeouts left. So you know, maybe they could get 3. And what they'll probably do here, what they're telling the Lorenzen right now is, okay, these are all going to be throws. You know, don't throw an interception. Make sure, if not, throw it away. If the ball is caught inbounds, obviously immediate timeout. You've got 2 left. And they probably gave him 2 plays from the sideline as well, I would think.
So here we go. 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. Lorenzen out of the shotgun. Cunyu wide right. He looks to his left, throws, and he has his man Jeffers inside the 10. And he got out of bounds to stop the clock with 15 seconds left. Looks like the ball will be at about the 6-yard line. UConn has only 1 timeout left. Remember, they used the timeout on defense right before the punt. And they just used the timeout before that play.
Yeah, excellent catch right there by Jeffers. Boy, these 2 young receivers, Terrence Jeffers and Brad Cunyu, now they played as true freshmen last year. They both have a chance to have great careers here.
Takes the handoff to Brown. Plenty of time. Looks, fires, touchdown to Jeffers.
Just an option route. Well, what a great 2-minute drive by Tyler Lorenzen. He did not make a mistake in that drive. He put every throw right on the money. I mean, that was a great 2-minute drive. Great use of the clock, timeouts, did everything right. And here, this is just a little option throw. He turns away from the defender. See that? There's the defender inside. Ball's thrown outside. That is perfect execution.
Tyler Lorenzen's 3rd touchdown pass of the season. Terrence Jeffers' 1st touchdown catch. Cheruvino in to attempt the extra point. And The officials are stopping the clock, and Randy Edsall looks like he's looking for an explanation. Jeffers, a sophomore from Lawrenceville, Georgia, had 2 touchdown catches a year ago.
Possible review of the play? I don't know. It certainly looked like he easily crossed the plane here.
I think maybe he hang on to the ball. It looked like he was sliding down. We certainly couldn't tell from that angle.
The replay officials are right next to us, and it looks like they are. This is under review.
I think the only issue can be, did he have control of the football before it possibly hit the turf?
Yeah, from every angle we've seen up to this point, you know, there's nothing that would say that was not a completion. Let's see from this angle if we can see. No, we're not going to be able to see from that angle either. It looks. Ooh, that's close. That's close. That's close.
You see, the official delayed a little bit before he signaled touchdown. Maybe the official to the left of your screen, well, he might be out of our picture on this replay.
See, you can't tell right here from this angle, but that ball may have rolled down his right leg just a little bit right there. Now, did it touch the ground? That's the key issue. And we have not seen a replay that says right now they could overturn it. This is the best shot of it, and even from this one, it's hard to tell. Wow, that's tough to call right there. It is very, very close. Now they try to keep these reviews to under 2 minutes. And again, from that angle right there, we can't tell. I would not want to be a replay official making this call. It's very difficult to say if there is one thing that will make them overturn it. Okay, we're getting the call. Let's listen.
Hard again.
Stance is called on the field. It's a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree.
Not enough to overrule.
There was nothing definitive that said that ball touched the ground.
So it is a 65-yard 9-play drive. Took 1:19, culminating in the 6-yard touchdown pass from Lorenzen to Jeffers, and now Chervino will try to make it a 17-0 lead with 9 seconds left in the half. And he does. So UConn is trying to get off to a 2-0 start for the 4th time in the last 5 years. And you just can't imagine a better start to a football. I guess the only thing that would have been better, Doug, is if the Huskies who kicked off somehow got a turnover and returned the fumble for a touchdown on the opening kickoff. That didn't happen because the kickoff went through the end zone.
Right.
But instead, 48 seconds into the game, Scott Luttress intercepted a pass by Brusco and returned it 25 yards for a touchdown. And let me ask you something. Are you surprised that Jack Cosgrove, just 1 game and 1 quarter, a little bit into the 2nd quarter in the season, pulled the plug on his quarterback Brusco? Keep in mind that he's replacing a guy in Ron Whitcomb who started 45 consecutive games and graduated after last season.
It was a pretty quick hook. Now, you know, what you don't know is, did he miss some audibles? You know, he may very well have maybe made some mistakes on some of the checks. I mean, you don't know exactly what's going on. And he may just want to take a look at Adam Farkas. I mean, you know, and obviously by the early hook, he feels it's a very close competition between those two, and he simply wants to take a look at Farkas as well.
So here's Cullen to kick off with 9 seconds left. Again, the clock doesn't start till someone touches the ball. That someone is Landis Williams.
Boy, it closed.
Brings it out to the 28 with 4 seconds left, and with a quarterback that's had only a handful of his snaps under his career, do you take a knee here?
Well, I mean, I would. That's for sure. Especially with a young redshirt freshman at quarterback. 4 seconds left. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I'd be surprised if he runs the play here.
And indeed, Brusco is back in at quarterback here with 4 seconds to go. So stay tuned if you want to find out who's going to start at quarterback to start the second half for the Black Bears. And indeed, Brusco does take a knee. So a very solid defensive effort by the UConn Huskies. Jack Cosgrove's club began on just a horrible note with the interception return 25 yards for a touchdown. And with a minute, 9 seconds left in the half, the pass from Lorenzen to Jeffers makes it 17-0 Huskies. Bob Picozzi and Doug Graber back in East Hartford, Connecticut, awaiting the start of the third quarter. UConn leading Maine 17-0. And there is a look at Maine's strength and conditioning coach, and it is very unusual that their strength and conditioning coach, Leslie Look, is a woman. There aren't that many of them in Division 1A or 1AA football.
Well, you know, former world champ in powerlifting, you know, she's certainly qualified. And in talking to Coach Cosgrove, she has a great rapport with the players. She does a tremendous job for them. She helps organize their special teams. She's on top of everything. Very unusual, but very effective.
Jack Cosgrove made a quarterback change in the first half. Tyler Lorenzen, his first game at quarterback as UConn Husky here at home. And there's your quarterback comparison. Farkas is the quarterback that came off the bench for Maine.
Yeah, 3 of 4 for him, 14 yards. Made a nice conversion on the third down. Looks like a freshman a little bit at times, too. But it'd be interesting to see what Jack decides to go, which direction he goes here in the second half.
UConn won the toss at the beginning of the night and elected to defer its choice at the beginning of the second half, so the Huskies will receive to start the second half. So Bobby Donnelly will kick off for the first time tonight. 6'3", 185-pound senior from Westbrook, Maine. There's a look at Donald Brown in the first half. 13 carries for 57 yards. Fluellen averaging only 2.2 yards per carry. Brown entered the game as the fourth leading rusher in the Big East after only 1 week at 19 carries for 99 yards and a touchdown last week against Duke. Back deep to return the kickoff for the Huskies at the goal line is Tyvon Branch, and we're going to get a penalty on the play, and it's almost always some sort of illegal block when you get a flag that area of the field on a kickoff return.
Maybe 2 penalties. I saw 2 flags come at distinct different times. Let's sort this one out now.
Referee is Gerard McGinn.
There are multiple flags on the play. Holding on Connecticut, number 32. The penalties declined. Holding on 15 on Connecticut. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the infraction. First down.
Well, you're right on the money with that one, Doug. They were both holding calls, and the Maine will accept the call on number 15, Donnell Ford, because that will give them the better field position. And the field position for UConn will not be very good to begin the second half at their own 15-yard line.
Now, that was the first penalty, and obviously that occurred much deeper.
2 tight ends for the Huskies. Bedard to the left, Browse to the right. Handoff, Brown. Picks up about 6 on the play. Tackle made by Jordan Stevens and Stephen Barker.
That is the adjustment at halftime, coming out with 2 tight ends, what I call ace personnel, two tight ends, 2 wide receivers, 1 running back. That will really slow down the blitzing that Maine really hurt him with badly in the first half.
Huskies in the ball game, 16 rushes for 68 yards. They had 189 yards rushing last week against Duke. This time 1 tight end. Handoff Brown, and we're going to get a penalty in that UConn backfield, thrown right at the feet of the right tackle, Dan Ryan, number 73.
Yeah, that's usually a pretty good sign. It might be on him, the big 6'8", 310-pound Dan Ryan. He is a big brawler.
So this will be a half the distance one.
The offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage. Replay, second down.
So that will push it half the distance to the goal line.
We'll take a look at it here. He gets a big old bunch of Javon.
Got his money's worth,
yeah,
didn't he?
That was a full takedown right there. No question about that one.
3 penalties for 30 yards for UConn. The stop was made by Bruno Dorsman, playing in his home state out of New Canaan High School, and what a great story that is.
Boy, Brown just almost busted that one big. He just lost his footing. that just got tripped up. That almost went out the gate right there.
Let's look at Dorismond again, who will come off the field. Dorismond, the son of a Haitian immigrant, product of a single-family household. His mom, Marie Millard. He played on 2 state championship teams, CIAC Class M champions at New Canaan High School. Also was a state wrestling champion. And Jack Cosgrove said that Dorismond has grown as much as a person as any player we've ever had in our program. Swing pass to Brown and a nice open field tackle by Jamal Foreman.
Well, I tell you what, the black hole defense of Maine, they don't quit. They just relentless. They just keep coming, man. They run to the football. Very impressed with them.
And there is Donald Brown coming off the field, and on to do the punting will be Cullen, who has averaged 2 punts for 39.5 yards. The black hole defense has not given up 20 points in 8 straight games and has not given up 100 yards rushing in 3 straight. Bad snap and a low kick by Cullen. It will take a UConn bounce and will roll barely into Maine territory. But Maine, with its best field possession of the night at the 48. Now a drum roll. Who will be the quarterback for the Black Bears? Will it be Brusco, who started the game? Nope. Or will it be Farkas?
It is Brusco.
Brusco. Coming up next Saturday, UConn right back here at Rentschler Field against Temple, a noon start on many of these television outlets on the Big East Network. Doug and I will be here for that one. Temple coming off a loss today to Buffalo. There are the numbers on Brusco, and the only pass that was not complete was the one that was intercepted and returned for a touchdown. But negative yards. Brusco out of the shotgun, and his first pass is deflected at the line of scrimmage, and that's not the way you want to start the half.
Oh, but again, this front four is just so athletic. Yeah, that was Cody Brown right there again that tipped that ball. And I'll tell you what, he's just 6'3". Take a look at it right here from the end zone. Watch him at the right of your screen. Yeah, he just power rushes the tackle, reads it just like defensive line coach Hank Hughes teaches it. Classic.
2 wide receivers to the left and 3 to the right. Now Flewellen in motion. Brusco on the option, rolls right, pitches. Nice cutback move by Walcott, avoided about a 5-yard loss and barely got back to the line of scrimmage.
Boy, Antonio Walcott, 5'5", 160-pound freshman. Man, he is a jitterbug out there. He's really tough in space, and he made Scott Luttrus look bad right here. Take a look at it. Perfect position on option football, assignment football. But Antonio Walcott, he's tough in space.
Maine 1 for 7 on 3rd downs the first half. Here's a 3rd and long. They need 10 yards. They got great field position. They haven't been able to do anything with it. Brusco fires, has his man for the first down. Manzi Pierre.
Yeah,
the junior from Queens, New York.
That's an outcut. That's very, very tough to defense. Lawrence Wilson is trying to get under it right here, the outside linebacker, but that is outstanding execution. That was a great that was Dana Delliston that was trying to get under that outcut, the strong safety.
First catch of the night for Pierre. He had a 13-yard reception on the game-winning touchdown drive, the victory over Monmouth last week. So 1st and 10 Maine at the UConn 41. The pitch forward to Flewellen. He is stopped right at the line of scrimmage by Alex Polito and Lawrence Wilson.
Alex Polito, there's 2 redshirt freshmen right here. Watch these 2 young athletes close on this screen. 2 redshirt freshmen. Polito and Wilson right there. Boy, they have a bright future here.
Wilson getting the start because of the injury to Hennigan. At 10 tackles in the win over Duke. Redshirt freshman from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
That's a journey.
They like their football down there, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Patron, the H-back, in motion into the backfield. Brusco rolls left, and was he hit? That'll be an incomplete pass. He was drilled by Wilson just as he tried to release the ball, and it is considered a pass attempt instead of a fumble. Brusco took a big-time hit.
Boy, take a look at this right here. Watch Wilson close. He's really got it. Watch the burst here by number 8 right here. That is something you just can't teach. He's really got good burst to close on him right here. Oh, wow. That you got to be careful now, hitting the quarterback up around the head.
Well, he had absolutely no chance of completing it.
No.
Plus, he was running to his left, and he throws right. Brusco on the screen to Catrone, the H-back. He'll be stopped at about the 34-yard line, well short of the first down.
That was Rob Lund again. That's the third time on my count that Lund, the tackle, has made the tackle on a screen. Take a look at him right here. Watch him run and chase this thing down. Right there. Excuse me, that was not Lund, that was Polito, the other tackle.
This is 4-down territory for Maine. And on fourth downs, they were 0 for 2 last week. Jack Cosgrove told me, unless we get the ball to the 20, we're not going to try a field goal. So fourth down, and they need about 4.
Good defense on the field.
The handoff to Jermaine Henderson. First time on the field. And he took the inside handoff, and he didn't get anywhere near the first down. So Maine, given the great field position because of the penalties on the second half kickoff and the holding penalty on UConn on offense, but they did very little with it. They only got 1 first down. So the UConn defense comes up strong on the 4th down, and Maine remains scoreless. On opening day, UConn outscored Duke 34-0 in the second half. The Huskies on their second possession of the second half in their home opener. 1st and 10 at the 35, leading Maine 17-0. Lorenzen looking, and he's going to take off with the football. Gets by Wormuth. Wormuth eventually brought him down, but not until Lorenzen lunged forward to get the first down and an 11-yard pickup.
He's sneaky fast. 6'5". He doesn't look like he's moving very good, but he's sneaky fast. And take a look at it right here now. Nice job advancing the football, getting the 1st and 10. Good balance.
In case you're wondering, he is not related to New York Giants backup quarterback Jared Lorenzen, who's a little bit bigger built than Tyler. This time he keeps it himself for about a 4-yard gain to midfield. This is the home opener for UConn. Played at Rentschler Field in East Hartford, Connecticut, a facility that opened in 2003. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Doug Graber. So glad you've joined us on this Saturday night for Big East football. UConn and Maine meeting for the first time since 1999, and the Huskies with a 17-0 lead. Lorenzen to throw, and he has his man Cunyu short of the first down at the Maine 45-yard line. Driven out of bounds by Lionel Nixon Jr., getting the start at right cornerback tonight as Maine made a change in their secondary, moving Whetstone from corner to safety.
Yeah, take a look at this. A good decision right here by Lorenzen. You know, in talking to Coach Edsel yesterday, they did not offer Lorenzen until he came on campus, and they were so impressed with him in their meetings with him at his maturity, his understanding of the game, his work ethic. That's when he decided this guy's going to be my quarterback.
3rd down and 1. Handoff Donald Brown, and I think the second effort got him the first down.
Oh, this is going to be close.
Looks like official on the far side where he's got the foot. Looks like they got it. They did. So that'll be a first down at the 43-yard line.
Yep, take a look at it right here. Again, he knew exactly what he had to get for that. Oh, that was a nice job of him finding that little crack in there.
Randy Edsel told me, Doug, that Brown needs to play within himself. He's strong, quick, he can break tackles, and he can run people over. But he has to understand he doesn't need to make a big play on every time he carries the ball. There's Cunyu. He's had a big night.
Again, the throw right on the money.
Fifth catch.
By Lorenzen. He's after having only 1 catch in the opener, he's certainly coming back and having a big night. We haven't seen DJ Hernandez much yet tonight. Nice.
Cunyu had 13 catches for 288 yards and a touchdown a year ago.
The big lefty. Boy, and I tell you, that was a great block by Beatty, the left tackle.
2nd and 4. Big pass. There's Cunyu's 6th catch of the night and a first down at the 25.
Again, right on the money. You know, and I talked to Rob Ambrose yesterday, the offensive coordinator at UConn, and he's also the quarterback's coach. And there you see Cunyu headed back to the huddle. Here's the throw by Lorenzen right there. He's a tough little guy, boy, I'll tell you. Not that little. He's 6 foot, about 190. Nice throw. Put it right on the upfield number. got an injury on the field.
Stephen Barker shaken up on the play and being tended to on the field by Dr. Michael Rizzo and trainer Ryan Taylor. There's a look at Kunyu's 6 catches for 76 yards. Barker, a 5'11" sophomore from Teaneck, New Jersey, just short, what, about a 2 wood from Giant Stadium, the home of the Giants and the Jets, where the Jets will open tomorrow. A big game against the New England Patriots. A big game to start things off in the AFC East.
Of course, I spent some time with the Jets. He made the tackle. You know, he might have caught a knee to the helmet right there. I'm guessing that's probably what it is. No, I wanted to finish that in talking to Rob Ambrose, the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach at UConn, about Lorenzen, and there you see, Jack Cosgrove, just said nothing but a joy to work with. I mean, really understands the game, really studies the game. No, that looks like an ankle coming off. Yep, I just saw it right there. His left ankle or knee, one of those two, just kind of buckled under him when he was walking off. That would be a big loss for Maine. Let's take a look now. He makes the tackle right here. Let's see if we can see. I can't really say what happened right there.
At any rate, it'll be 1st and 10 Huskies just outside the Maine 25-yard line. Lorenzen, plenty of time, rolls left. It's the 3rd time he's taken off with the ball, and the 2nd time he's got a 1st down here to begin the 3rd quarter. Ridden out of bounds by Derek Harris, who is in the lineup to replace the injured Barker.
You know, he's 6'5", he can move in the pocket, and he put that ball under right now. He said he's got great vision. He sees the field. He knew that he really had a gap to his left side there. That's why he tucked the ball right away.
There are the rushing numbers on Lorenzen. Last week against Duke, 19 carries for 56 yards. It's almost over the 100-yard mark on the ground this season.
Now remember, this is only his 2nd game as a Division I.
Oh, what a fake. But a great play by Javon Belcher. Belcher just stayed at home, made the stop. Belcher had a career-high 13 tackles last week against Monmouth, and after 1 week is 3rd in the CAA in tackles.
Yeah, that's a great job by Javon Belcher right there. He wasn't taking any of that fake, and he stayed right at home. Disciplined defense by the Black Hole defense. Tried to straight on him, but he wasn't having any of that.
Lorenzen's got 29 yards rushing on this drive. And UConn is doing a great job of eating up clock. Only 7 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Lorenzen to throw. Overthrows Browse, who was double covered in the back of the end zone. Whetstone was there. And so was Javon Belcher. How did he get back there?
Yeah, that was a lot of pressure on Lorenzen right there. Take a look at the pressure right here. That forced the overthrow. He had to get rid of it early.
So Doug, we saw Belcher make the tackle in the backfield right at the line of scrimmage in the previous play, and there he is in the back of the end zone defending the pass on the next play.
Multitasking.
Either that or a missed assignment.
No, that was a zone blitz. He was supposed to be there.
3rd down and 10. They can get a 1st down without getting into the end zone. Lorenzen, good protection, throws, and we're going to get a pass interference penalty on the goal line. It's going to be called on Whetstone. He broke up the pass intended for Kunyu, but this is going to be a 1st and goal to go for the Huskies. I do believe.
Just a tad late with that throw.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 3. The infraction occurred on the 1-yard line. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic 1st down.
Just a tad. I had no question about that. That contact was
a little early.
Was way early. Lemire Whetstone
almost made the catch anyway.
Yeah, he really did.
So 1st and goal Huskies at the 2.
Yeah, that ball went through and hit him right at the top of the numbers.
Rouse, the only tight end in. There's the fade to Jeffers. Touchdown.
Nice touch. Nice touch on
And a
that
nice
throw.
catch. Second touchdown pass of the night for Lorenzen, and the second touchdown catch for Terrence Jeffers, the sophomore from Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Boy, these two sophomore receivers, Kanyu and Jeffers, a lot of talent right there. Boy, he just went up and got that one, and you throw DJ Hernandez in there. Talented wide receiver core.
So a 2-yard touchdown pass for Lorenzen. His 4th touchdown pass of the season. And the second touchdown catch of the season for Jeffers, both of them tonight. So a very efficient UConn touchdown drive. They ate on clock. Their quarterback got some yards with his legs, and he gets the last 2 yards with his left arm. It's 24-0 Huskies.
Well, I tell you, the UConn faithful here, you know, they've struggled at the quarterback position. Of course, they had Dan Orslowski before, who's now with the Lions, but the last 2 years it's been a struggle. And I'll guarantee you the UConn nation is really happy to have Tyler Lorenzen here in Connecticut.
He's 4 for 5 in the air on that drive and had 29 yards rushing. On the kickoff by Cullen, it's returned by Landis Williams, lost his footing out across the 30 to the 32-yard line, where the stop was made by Derek Harris.
And again, they've been having a little trouble with the turf here at Rentschler Field. They had a concert a couple weeks ago. Looked like he might have lost his footing.
So Brusco will lead the Black Bears onto the field. They're now down 24-0, and Maine's offensive scheme, at least early this season, is really not designed to come back from a deficit like this. They are very much a team which grinds it out offensively on the ground.
Audible from the sideline, from the press box.
3 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Brusco to throw.
Nope.
Too low, and Williams caught it on a hop. You know, the Huskies are delighted to have Lorenzen, who was a junior college All-American last year. As we take a look, and you can see this one just didn't get there to the receiver Williams. In addition to that, UConn landed Zach Frazier, a transfer from Notre Dame who has to sit out this year. So the Huskies are also very high on Frazier. Now, Lorenzen will have 2 years of eligibility here, this year and next. And as you mentioned, it's been a revolving door at quarterback since Orlovsky left for the NFL. Williams with a tough catch, ball thrown a little bit behind him. Gets it out to the 40, about a 9-yard pickup.
That was almost a disastrous mistake by number 1, Darius Butler. He went up high on that, you know, going for the ball, and I'll tell you, the first priority is making the tackle. He very nearly missed that tackle.
Randy Etzel was telling me that Butler's got tremendous ability, but he has to realize he can't rely on that athletic ability alone to make plays. He really needs to focus a little bit more on technique. Here's a big 3rd and 1. Maine 2 for 9 on 3rd downs tonight. Brusco looking, rolling.
Nope.
And he's going to be thrown down by Julius Williams, the junior from Decatur, Georgia, the man who had a sack for his safety last week. And he has a big sack here on 3rd down and forcing Maine to punt.
Look at the guns on Julius Williams right there. And I'll tell you, boy, he's great strength program here. Watch Julius Williams. That's a burst. That's an athlete. 6'2", 261. He moved from linebacker to defensive end.
So into punt for the Black Bears will be Kiefer. Taylor back to return. Of course, UConn has a state-of-the-art weight training facility and a state-of-the-art football complex on campus, which is really the envy of many schools around the country. Taylor makes 2 or 3 people miss and gets it out to the 40-yard line.
He's fun to watch, boy. He's quick.
It's been all UConn in the Huskies' home opener at Rentschler Field. They've never lost a home opener since the stadium opened in 2003, and they have a big fat 24-0 lead over Maine. In poll, UConn was picked to finish 7th in the 8-team league. Here's the return by Taylor, and what a weapon he is on special teams for the Huskies.
Yeah, that was a lot of pressure on the punter, forced a bad punt. Nice job by Taylor right here. And whoa, what a cut that was. He is really quick.
Good field position for the Huskies at the 42 with 4:51 to go, third quarter, up 24-0. Handoff, Brown, huge hole up the middle. Donald Brown all the way to the Maine 32-yard line.
First time tonight now we really saw him get to the second level, and he is a north and south runner. Take a look at this, and a great job by this offensive. Wow, what a hole that was to run through. That offensive line of Keith Gray at center, Thomas, Beatty at left tackle, Hicks, and Dan Ryan.
26-yard run, and Lorenzen, I don't know what happened there.
I think he just lost the handle on it.
It looked like he tried to pull it back.
He may have. He may be right. He may have tried. May have thought better of that throw. Let's see. The ball just kind of. He just lost it. He lost the handle on it.
It's like me trying to handle my 2-iron.
Yeah. Get rid of them long irons. Get you some hybrids.
Second down and 10. Fakes the handoff, throws right, caught by DJ Hernandez. Nice cutback. There we go. Inside the 10, all the way to the 4-yard line. Nearly all of it after the catch. Hernandez had a great catch and run for a touchdown last week against Duke, and he nearly broke this one for 6. 29-yard pickup.
You know, I had a nice talk with him at practice yesterday. Take a look at him right here in space. I'd say this guy's a talented wide receiver. But I told him I was so impressed that recognizing that he could help the team at wide receiver, he made that move from quarterback, and he is going to be a very effective wide receiver.
A 57-yard touchdown catch last week. First and goal, Brown pushing straight ahead. Gets inside the 1.
And I'll tell you, that was a great block by Hernandez on that particular play. He really cut off the defensive. Watch him, number 14, right here to the left. Watch the chop right there. Now that's going against a big fella, and that's a wide receiver, but he cut him off. And for a wide receiver, that's an outstanding block.
Second down and goal. 2 tight ends, Bedard to the left and Brous to the right. I formation. Davis, the fullback, the front man in the eye. Handoff, Brown. He's stopped by Downey. Downey made the first hit, and he actually lost yardage on the play. Downey, third-team All-Atlantic 10 choice at linebacker a year ago.
Maine takes a lot of pride in this defense, and of course they got their hands full tonight. But boy, they're playing tough. They're playing hard. Good penetration right up there, and a nice job by Downey. That was a good hit right in the hole, number 10.
UConn 4 of 9 on third downs. This will be third and goal from about the 2.5. Again, the 2 tight ends. Fakes, buys some time, rolls left. Will he try to take it in himself? He will. Excellent poise by Tyler Lorenzen. And the Huskies extend the lead to 30-0 with the extra point attempt coming up.
I'll tell you, the big 6'5" guy, he's got some sneaky quicks to him. And he makes great decisions. That's his best. It totally covered. The tight end came open late, didn't have time, tucked it under. Nice job. He's fast getting to the corner right there.
Lorenzen's first touchdown run as a Husky. The 3-yarder, 6-play, 59-yard drive. It took 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Chiravino with the extra point. So back-to-back touchdown drives. The Huskies have scored 14 points, Doug, in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, again, let's take a look at Tyler and this decision he makes. Here you see him, a nice-looking young man. Play action pass. Oh, I see Brous got held up. The tight end got held up. That's why it didn't open up. And that's why he made this decision right here. And that wasn't much of a foot race right there to the corner for a quarterback. I'll tell you, that's very good. He's got those long strides at 6'5". He tucks it and goes.
There's Jeffers, the wideout. Just put a little bit of a hit. Man on the perimeter. That's all it took. So the only downside is this for Connecticut is those cheerleaders doing those up downs. 31. They do one for each point, huh? This is what Lorenzen has done tonight. He's rushed for 42 yards. In talking to Randy Edsall this week, obviously the first time Randy had a chance to see Lorenzen was on tape from his days at Palomar Junior College. He liked what he saw. And as you said, they brought him in for the visit. And he fell in love with him. But he said that on the first day in spring practice, he was awful. He said he was absolutely awful, but we saw him get better and better each day. He never gets rattled. And Randy really feels quite confident that he is going to be the solution to what has been a real problem for UConn in the last 2 years. They tried Bonoslawski at quarterback. They tried Hernandez a couple years ago because of injuries. They even played true freshman Dennis Brown. Yep. And they redshirted Brown last year. They were really looking at Brown in the future as maybe the quarterback for this year. Then along came Lorenzen. This time on the return, it's Jerron Pearson out to the 20-yard line where Maine will take over. And it looks like Farkas will get another shot at quarterback.
That was Marcus Campbell there, number 26. There you see him right there going off. He is a true freshman, 6'2", 220, 10,700 meters. He is a talent. True freshman. There's 5 true freshmen playing tonight, and they are all outstanding athletes. Greg Lloyd, number 95, is another one on the teams. Yes, that's the son of Greg Lloyd, the linebacker with the Pittsburgh Steelers with the same number, 95.
Farkas on the option, brought down by Wilson, another one of those redshirt freshmen. Adam Farkas sat out last season as a redshirt. He was named a Maine Scholar Athlete Rising Star. He's a quarterback, free safety, kick returner at Buckingham Brown and Nichols High School, was the captain of that team. And he passed and rushed for over 1,000 yards during his senior season, and he was named the New England Football Officials Player of the Year. Also played high school baseball, and so now early in the season he's getting a shot to see what he can do at that quarterback spot. Throws, and he threw it behind the intended receiver, Jamal Fluellen. So it's 3rd down for Maine. They are 2 of 10 on 3rd downs.
There he is right there. That is number 95, Greg Lloyd. Of course, his dad, as we all know, was a great one with the Pittsburgh Steelers from Claremont, Florida. True freshman. He's playing on the special teams, and he has got a lot of talent as well.
3rd down and 8 for Maine, with 1:52 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Looks like we're going to get a false start. Pushing back 5 more yards.
Prior to snap, false start on the offense. Number 53, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
You know, I talked to Jack Bicknell, my buddy Jack Bicknell, who coached that guy right there, Jack Cosgrove at Maine, and I said, what's he like? He said, let me tell you something. He was a tough sucker, and he coaches that way, and of course he coached for Jack as well, and his defense plays tough. I believe it. He's done a great job at Maine.
It was his first coaching job. Jack Cosgrove was an assistant under Jack Bicknell at Boston College. Doug mentioned part of his career as a player at Maine was under Jack Bicknell there. Another penalty flag in that Maine backfield. Meanwhile, Landis Williams on that middle screen for the flanker has a huge game, but it might all come back. The umpire's got a hold. It will come back.
Yeah, that was a rocket screen that really bounced to the outside.
Named for its very successful usage at Notre Dame during the days of Raghib Rocket Ismail under Lou Holtz.
That's pretty good when they name a play after you.
Right.
Everybody runs it. Everybody runs that play. The rocket screen, the bubble screen, some people call it.
It was a 40-yard completion wiped out. But Jack Cosgrove is a situation where the last 4 years he had Ron Whitcomb as his quarterback. Ron started 45 straight games. There's the hold's going to be on Pearson, number 5.
Yep, no question about that.
But Whitcomb is Maine's all-time leader in touchdown passes, 68, completion, 755, second in passing yardage with 8,300 yards. So big shoes to fill. So Brusco won the job. But now from looking at what's happened in the first 2 weeks of the season, it would seem pretty obvious that there is a genuine competition at that quarterback spot. Another screen to Llewellyn. They're just looking for field position now. Give their punter some more room to operate. Gets it out to the 15-yard line. Stop made by Wilson yet again. And Kiefer will be in to punt. I'll tell you, Maine's planning on getting on the bus and making that 5.5-hour trip home right after the game tonight. And we might have to ice down Kiefer's leg. He's already punted the football 7 times, averaged 43 yards.
Boy, I hope that's not Danny Lansana. It may well be. I'm not sure. I couldn't quite get the number, and it is.
Yep.
That is not good at all.
Bob Howard, UConn's head trainer, out to take a look.
Take a look at the right-hand side of your screen right there. Now he's in pursuit. Oh, he gets cut right there. Oh, boy. Right knee got cut.
By Arneo, Christopher Arneo.
Boy. Oh, boy. They're looking at the ankle. Boy, this is going to make, this is not very pretty here. Oh, that's not a good. He's in a position where he really can't protect himself.
6'1", 244-pound senior out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Entered the game with 212 career tackles, 22 of them for a loss. And he's helped onto his feet and off the field.
He is putting some weight on it. That's a good sign.
10 tackles in the win over Duke last week.
That was not pretty right there. Not pretty at all. Oh, boy, I'll tell you, that's got to make Randy Edsall just sick right now.
Maine had to make a little shuffle on their offensive line tonight because of an injury to right tackle Christopher Parcells, an ankle injury. So as a result, Jacob Foles, who started at left guard last week, kicked out to the right tackle spot, and Jake Surdy, the backup right guard, got the start tonight at left guard. Arneo, who threw that cut block, is considered Maine's best run blocker. Kiefer punting for the 8th time tonight. Back deep to return it is Jasper Howard for the first time.
Another freshman.
Try the left side, turns the corner, and is pushed out of bounds by Wellington Talkpa, junior from Hamilton, New Jersey, right outside the state capital of Trenton. 14-yard return. Repeatedly, UConn has been able to get significant yardage on the outside on these punt returns.
Just really too much speed for him here. And again, you make the guy miss inside. Nice job of him of setting up the return. And there's the contain guy right there, and he doesn't contain. That's the problem.
And Randy Edsall, you see what UConn's done offensively, is going to give backup quarterback Dennis Brown some playing time with 45 seconds left in the third quarter. Sophomore from Miami, Florida. And he hands off to Lou Allen. Carries it across midfield. Dennis Brown redshirted last year, but 2 years ago, because of injuries to Bonoslawski and Hernandez, it was the intention of the coaching staff to redshirt him for the entire year, but they needed someone to play, and he got 2 starts, completed 28 of 54 passes, 2 interceptions, threw for 293 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And of course, this is really the whole second team offense on the field. Wide receivers all the way across the line, tight ends, everybody. The tragedy is with Lansana, I'm sure that the next series they were going to put the total second defense in as well. So
Caldwell and Irvin making the stop on the final play of the third quarter, but it was a very productive third quarter for the UConn Huskies as they scored 2 touchdowns. They lead 31-zip. Welcome back to Rentschler Field in East Hartford, Connecticut. It's the home opener for UConn, just about to start the fourth quarter against Maine. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Doug Graber. It's been a dominant performance by the Huskies. They scored 2 touchdowns in the third quarter, and they lead Maine 31-0. It will be 3rd and 4 for UConn at the Maine 45-yard line to begin the fourth. Backup quarterback Dennis Brown out of the shotgun. looks to throw, fires, and he has his man Marcus Easley. That is Easley's first catch of the season, a junior from Stratford, Connecticut. And it is a UConn first down, a 9-yard pickup. Stop made by Dominic Cusano, who is playing in his home state. He's from Wallingford, Connecticut.
I'm anxious to see Dennis Brown out of Miami. Good start there. Nice throw on third down. Good feet.
And the training staff and Randy Etzel is even over to listen to the latest on Danny Lansana.
Boy,
if we get any information about the injury, we will certainly pass it along.
That would be devastating. You lose if you should lose your leading tackler, and this would be his third consecutive year leading this team in tackles. But boy, he makes a lot of plays.
And it looks like they're backing up the cart over there to take him off the field. That was the first career catch for Easley, and there's an injury to a Maine player. I'm going to pick out his number there.
That's actually on the bench on the sideline.
I think it's Cusano, the young man from Wallingford, Connecticut.
He's up.
And while it's first down for the Huskies, handoff to Lou Allen. Dominic Cusano out of Sheehan High School in Wallingford, one of 6 Connecticut residents who have made the trip with the Black Bears as Danny Lansana heads into the UConn locker room. And obviously we will not see him anymore tonight. He's got the right shoe and sock off. 2nd and 5 for UConn. Handoff, Allen. Huge hole, left side. First down, stays in bounds. Did he get in? Yes, he did.
Touchdown.
32-yard touchdown run for Lou Allen, the junior from Salem, Connecticut, who scored 5 touchdowns a year ago and had 1 last week against Duke.
Well, take a look at it right here. He just bounces this outside. Nice block by the wideout. That was, I think, Easley. Right down the sideline. No question about that. Nice job staying in bounds. Showed a burst. 238 pounds. That's a big running back right there now.
Chervino in to attempt the extra point. He's been perfect so far tonight. So UConn has outscored Maine 21-0 in the first 15 minutes and 45 seconds of the third quarter. It was a 5-play, 51-yard drive. It took only 90 seconds, and it concluded with a 31-yard run by Lou Allen. Doug, last year UConn won only 1 conference game in the Big East, but they were 3rd in the conference in rushing in 182 yards. Randy Etzel loves to run the football.
Well, you run the football, it helps your defense, it helps everything. And now that they have Lorenzen, I think they're going to be able to run it and throw it. Here, of course, right there, that's Lou Allen. And it's nice to have 2 running backs. I really haven't seen him much, didn't see him on tape, but for 238 pounds, he showed a burst right there around the corner.
Huskies have outgained Maine on the ground tonight by 133 yards. An update on Danny Lansana. It is an injury to the right ankle, and he will not return. On the return, it's Landis Williams out to the 23-yard line. From there, Maine will take over with 14:09 remaining. And at this point, if you're Jack Cosgrove, you just want to see something positive happen so that you can use it as a springboard toward next week's conference opener on the road against Villanova.
Yeah, just too much talent for Maine here tonight. I mean, this team just runs too well, too strong, too many good skilled players. I don't think many people in the country realize how good UConn is, to be very, very honest with you.
Marcus on the option will keep it himself. Heads upfield. Gets out to the 33-yard line.
You know, Bob, I have to tell you, when I watch tape, take a look at this run. Yeah, very nice, good fake, nice job by Farkas right there.
Greg Robinson, redshirt freshman from Scotland, Pennsylvania, with the stop.
But I have to tell you, when I looked at tape and watched this team practice, I was somewhat shocked at how much talent they have. And this team is going to make noise in the Big East Conference. I promise you, this team will beat one of those top 4 teams, at least one of them. It's a lot of talent.
Pierre with the catch. Ford and McLean made the stop, an 11-yard pickup. UConn will open its Big East season 2 weeks from tonight at Pittsburgh. And then 3 weeks after that, their home conference opener, and that'll be a big one, October 19th against Louisville, currently ranked 8th in the country.
Yep. This place will be packed for that one.
It will end the season November 24th at West Virginia. The Mountaineers are ranked 3rd in the country. They beat Marshall today. Handoff Henderson, about a 1-yard pickup. And of course, West Virginia has not one but 2 bona fide Heisman Trophy candidates in Steve Slayton and the quarterback Pat White. There's the UConn schedule. The non-league game against Temple, then the conference opener with Pitt, then 2 more non-league games against Akron from the Mid-American Conference, Virginia from the ACC, then the rest of the way all Big East opponents: Louisville, USF, Rutgers, Cincinnati, Syracuse, and West Virginia.
I really think they have a chance to be 5-1 or possibly 6-0 going into that Louisville game. I really do.
A screen to the left, and we'll get a penalty flag thrown from the secondary. Dillon made the stop. Henderson with the catch. Greg Lloyd also assisting in the tackle.
Holding on the offense, number 66, 10-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage. Replay, 2nd down.
Penalty on Jake Surdy, junior from Upper St. Clair, Pennsylvania.
You know, Bob, in fact, Coach Etzel, you know, asked me to speak to the team after practice.
He didn't ask me to speak to the team.
Well, you weren't there. I'm sure he would have had you been there. But anyway, I spoke to the team. I'll tell you what I told him. I said, you're in a great position, man, because you guys are good. You know you're good. And I told him how impressed I was. And the position is this. They know they're good. They are good. But nobody else knows they're good. So that is a great position to be in.
Really a pivotal year for UConn. Farkas, nice throw across the middle to Mulligan, the tight end. Mulligan, a transfer from Husson College. Didn't play high school football, but he did play basketball, baseball, tennis, track, and field. Bet you he wasn't 6'5", 251 when he was playing high school tennis.
I wouldn't think so. But now right there we get a glimpse of why Coach Cosgrove wanted to get Farkas some reps. That is an excellent throw right down the middle by the redshirt freshman.
26-yard pickup, 1st and 10 at the UConn 40. Huskies leading at 38-0. Farkas will take off, and he was tripped just behind the line of scrimmage. Getting his paw out there was Mike Cox. Maine will play its CAA Colonial Athletic Association opener next week against Villanova. The Maine original member of the Yankee Conference, and after 50 years, the teams that were in the Yankee Conference at that point in the league had expanded by then. UConn was in it. 1997, they changed the name to the Atlantic 10 Conference, and after 10 years under the Atlantic 10 banner, the same 12 schools that played in the Atlantic 10 are now playing in the Colonial Athletic Association Football Conference. That's an incomplete pass, not a fumble. Doesn't matter whether you throw it overhand, underhand, behind the back, between the legs. You throw it forward, it's a pass, and if it hits the ground, it's incomplete.
You know, in the CAA, it will certainly be one of the premier 1AA. Here it is right here. Just threw a little bit behind it. But it will definitely be one of the premier 1AA conferences in the country, that along with the Southern Conference and out west the Big Sky Conference.
Well, indeed, they have 4 teams in the top 25. UMass number 2, New Hampshire 5, James Madison 10, and Delaware 13. That's in the TSN poll. Of course, that's the top 25 in the FCS, the Football Championship Subdivision.
Or 1AA, as some people still prefer to call it.
The left tackle, Sean Demaray, jumped early. And there is Maine's schedule, the conference opener at Villanova next week, and then UMass, who lost to Appalachian State in the national championship game a year ago. Then at Hofstra.
On the offense, number 7, 5-yard.
Maine will be in the hunt.
Ball starts.
There are 12 teams in the CAA. 6 of them are full-time members of the CAA. Hofstra, Delaware, Towson, Northeastern, James Madison, and William & Mary. 3 teams are full-time members of the Atlantic 10, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Richmond. 2 America East, Maine and New Hampshire, and 1 Big East, Villanova. Those 12 schools comprise the CAA football conference. Rolling right, Farkas looking. He will be driven out of bounds by Lloyd. All the way back at the UConn 49-yard line.
Greg Lloyd, good-looking young athlete right here. See him 95 right here, chasing the running back across, and watch him close on Farkas right there.
Kiefer will be in to punt, and Jasper Howard instead of Larry Taylor will be back deep to return at the 10-yard line. Howard, a freshman from Miami. This is Kiefer's 9th punt of the night. He's going to get a good night's sleep. A little sign of inexperience. I think they could have let that roll a little bit more. They downed it at the 5, and now we have 1, 2 penalty flags thrown at the end of the play.
A little late extracurricular. I didn't see anything.
These flags came. They must have been thrown 20 yards.
And there were 2 of them. There's no question. they had the call.
44-yard punt.
Dead ball. Personal foul. On Connecticut. Number 10. Half the distance from the end of the run, from the end of the kick. First down.
Greg Robinson nailed for the personal foul call. And we'll get a timeout. So Maine will be operating deep in its own territory, and they got some work to do. First meeting in 7 years with the Huskies. First and 10 UConn from the shadow of its own goal line. Up 38-0. Randy Edsall has long since emptied his bench. Second stringers at every position, including the quarterback, Dennis Brown.
This is so important now for Randy Edsall to get these young guys some experience, get them on tape, make corrections, because believe me, he knows with all the injuries they've had the last couple of years, any chance that you get to get young players experience, you've got to take advantage.
Lou Allen on that carry. He ran 31 yards for a touchdown on the last UConn possession. Second down and 8. Allen again. I think you're going to see UConn put the ball in the air much the rest of the way.
9:53 and counting here as we head down, and again there's several freshmen out on the field, and talk about recruiting and freshmen. The football facility at UConn is second to none, and since that's been completed now, this is really the first full year with the facility and recruiting, and boy, what a difference it made.
Allen again. And so Huskies are going to be punting from their own end zone this time.
Again, there is no quit in this Black Bear defense, that's for sure. Boy, they still are very, very, very tough against the run. Led the nation in rushing defense last year, second in the nation in total defense.
So Cullen will be back just about a step and a half in front of the back line of the end zone. He's averaged 39 yards on 3 punts. Low snap. Good pickup again. Second time he's done that. Whetstone back, and he will not attempt to field it. And it will roll to a stop at the UConn, just outside the UConn 40-yard line. So it will be good position, field position for Maine, who would love to get some points on the board before they head back on the bus for that long ride home to Orono. won in its last 6 openers. They won last week at Monmouth, trailing UConn 38-0 in their first road game of the season. 1st and 10 from the UConn 41 on the option. The pitch goes back to Walcott around the right side. Earlier in the broadcast, we mentioned how UConn is renowned for its kinesiology department, and that's one reason why Zach Penwell, at the age of 26, decided to begin his college career. He spent 6 years in the Air Force. He is the 4th oldest player in the country in Division 1A, or its new classification, the Football Bowl subdivision. There's a look at Zach. Spent 2 years in the Middle East in the Air Force, 3 years in Korea. He's married. He's the father of 2. He's a defensive tackle. He's in his 2nd year as a walk-on. Farkas throws left, and they're saying it was caught. Nope. Now the back judge is saying it hit the ground. But Zach was born in Fairbanks, Alaska, moved to El Paso, Texas. His mother, Vicky, continued her work there, running a midwife and missionary school. He ended up in Seattle, and he worked for a year as a live-in caretaker for an elderly man. He went back to school at Western Washington University, and then he decided to join the Air Force in March of 2000. He's part of the Tactical Air Control Party. That's a liaison division between the Air Force and the Army. So it's been an interesting road from Alaska to Kuwait and finally to Storrs, Connecticut for Zach Penwell. Henderson with the catch, the short gain to the right. This is Penwell's 2nd year as a walk-on, and he still will have 1 more year of eligibility next season. Story of persistence, Doug. How about this?
Wow.
Early in the ball game, but USF out of the Big East with an 11-point lead on the road against the 17th ranked Auburn Tigers.
You know, and I did.
You saw USF last week, didn't you, Doug?
Yeah, I did their game last week, and I watched them practice, and that is another team with a tremendous amount of young talent. Tremendous amount of young talent in this Big East Conference.
This punt will go through the end zone. USF in the also receiving votes category in the Associated Press poll this past week. 3 Big East teams are ranked among the top 15 in the country. West Virginia is 3, Louisville is 8, Rutgers is 15, and all 3 are off to a 2-0 start. Of course, a year ago at this time, the Rutgers story was just starting to build momentum, and that relates close to home for you, Doug, since you spent several years as the coach at Rutgers and were instrumental in the really the reconstruction from top to bottom of that magnificent stadium they have. And Rutgers really became one of the top stories in college football last year, their rise.
Well, there's nobody that enjoyed it more than myself, I promise you. That was good to see.
Well, the highlights of the season was Rutgers' dramatic win over Louisville on national TV on a Thursday night. That was the night that the Empire State Building was adorned in red.
Bathed in red. That was awesome. And who can ever forget the views and the shots from the blimp of all those Scarlet fans
twice
on the field.
First time when they thought the game was over, and the second time when it actually was. UConn will host Rutgers right here at Rensselaer on November 3rd. Handoff Allen, left side. One thing, Randy Edsel, Doug, does not have a whole lot of depth at running back. So when you get into blowout games, situations like this, he doesn't have a whole lot of choices. He certainly doesn't want to play Donald Brown. So Lou Allen may be carrying the ball on every play the rest of the way.
Young guy out of Salem, Connecticut, a junior, 238 pounds. That's some tough, hard-nosed run. Oh, wow. That's a load coming at you right there.
UConn has outgained 38 of its last 52 opponents. They've really, because of their defense and their special teams play tonight, they really haven't had to have particularly long touchdown drives. The longest drive was 65 yards. Here's a pass across. Oh, we have Bedard wide open, and he overthrew him.
Just overthrew it. You know, and I'll tell you what, you got to be careful here how you're evaluating this Maine team. This is a good football team. It's Maine. Take a look at Brown right here. He had him wide open and just got a little excited. Just
didn't look like he really stepped into that.
He
throw,
didn't set his feet well enough. But I really do believe that this Connecticut team is this talented.
Cullen in to punt, and Whetstone and Williams are both deep. Little pooch punt. Whetstone calls for the fair catch at the 40-yard line. And from there, Maine will take over with 5:24 remaining in the ball game. Maine a year ago was 6-5, 5-3, and then the Atlantic 10. Their first year in the CAA. The Black Bears with their first game against UConn since 1999. You know, Doug, the last time that UConn beat Maine, it was in Orono in 1997. Skip Holtz was the coach of the Huskies at the time. And Maine won 49-47 in triple overtime. Their quarterback, Mickey Fine, that day, talk about having to ice something down like your arm after the game.
Yeah.
He threw 62 passes, completing 38 of them for 522 yards, all Maine single-game passing records.
Well, here we see some of the Maine faithful.
It's week 2 in the Big East, and play began on Thursday night. Both Louisville and Cincinnati were in action. Cincinnati with an impressive home win over Oregon State in the Pac-10. So under their first-year coach, they're 2-0. And Brian Brom had a sensational night. Louisville really needed their offense to outscore Middle Tennessee in that shootout. And last night, Rutgers, with Ray Rice breaking the Rutgers career rushing record in the win over the Naval Academy. This afternoon, Pittsburgh beat Grambling State. Panthers with an opening day win over Eastern Michigan a week ago. And also today, West Virginia on the road beating Marshall. So the Mountaineers are 2-0. The only Big East team to lose was Syracuse, losing to Washington last week. And USF out to the 11-point lead on the road first quarter. So it's still early over Auburn. And Syracuse is playing tonight at Is that the right score?
Wow.
That is unbelievable. Are we sure about that one? Wow.
Boy, the Big East, that is so good for the conference.
That's a stunner.
Mike Tranghese has to be thrilled with that, the commissioner.
Fark is throwing, and the pass is going to be intercepted by McLean. Robert McLean, the sophomore from Louisville, Maryland.
Good go here. Nope.
And he runs out of bounds inside the 40-yard line at about the 37-yard line.
Watch this acrobatic interception right here. Over the shoulder. Nice job. Dancing the football down the field. Just steps out of bounds here. Watch this. Boy, you talk about, that's exactly the way you teach it as a secondary coach. Get the ball at its greatest height. He got up and got it.
Second interception of the night for UConn. The Huskies have already intercepted 5 passes this season. Well, it was too good to be true. In fact, it's Iowa leading Syracuse 28-0. And by the way, Iowa is going to play Maine next season. Maine will be playing a team from the Football Bowl subdivision next year. It's Iowa. And Iowa, of course, is coached by Kirk Ferentz, who spent 3 years as a head coach at Maine. Jack Cosgrove was an assistant under him. Here's the handoff again to Allen. And then Kirk Ferentz went from Maine to the NFL. He was an assistant coach at Cleveland under Bill Belichick, then on to the Baltimore Ravens, then became the head coach at Iowa. And just to come full circle, where did Kirk Ferentz play his college football? Right here at the University of Connecticut, where he was a captain and a Yankee Conference all-academic team member. So next year, Maine will continue to take on the big boys. And we understand that they are going to get a $400,000 guarantee. Let's be honest. Coaches don't like playing the 1A teams. But university presidents and athletic directors do.
No, they love it.
Because of the payday involved. Dennis Brown throws right, and Marcus Easley nearly made a circus catch. In fact, Jack Cosgrove told me this week, when I first found out that we were going to play Mississippi State, I thought we were out of our minds to do it. He said, then we went and won the game. And then the university president said, see, we can compete at that level.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's get 5 or 6 on the schedule next year.
And then the next year they played Nebraska very tough. They were only down by 5 going into the fourth quarter. Didn't win. They played Boston College reasonably tough last year. But one of the problems when you play these teams is here's Allen again on the handoff. One of the problems is you're always playing teams that are bigger, stronger, more physical, and have a lot more depth.
Yep.
And it is not at all unusual for you to come out of it with a lot of injuries. And that can affect you negatively for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and again, you can get dinged up. Now take a look at these scores now, and I don't think Maine has dropped off any as a football team. I think UConn is that good. I really do, because they have never been behind like this against a 118. Of course, like the other night.
Maine, in its history, is 1-4 against 1A teams, and one of those losses was to your Rutgers team, right?
Yes, it was.
That's when you were the coach there.
In fact, Kirk Friends was the head coach, and Jack Cosgrove, in fact, was the offensive coordinator.
They also lost to Hawaii, and then the 3 games we just showed you on the screen. The win over Mississippi State, and the losses to Nebraska and Boston College. 3:42 remaining. Farkas out of the shotgun. Farkas 7 of 12 for 57 yards tonight. Handoff to Walcott. Bring it out to the 40-yard line. Of course, tomorrow is the first full day of play in the NFL, following the Saints-Colts opener the other night, as we get another look at the carry out of the gun by Henderson. And when play begins tomorrow, Doug, there will be 6 Maine players on 53-man NFL roster. 6, including 3 off last year's team. Darren Stone, Mike Flynn, and Mike DeVito, all from the defensive side of the ball.
Isn't that amazing?
That's pretty good.
That's better than that. Is outstanding.
On the quarterback draw, Farkas has the first down inside the 3-minute mark. But Darren Stone, the defensive back, made the Falcons 53-man roster. Mike Flynn, a rookie offensive lineman, is with the Ravens. Mike DeVito, a rookie defensive lineman, is with the Jets. Brandon McGowan, a defensive back, is still with the Bears. Montel Owens, a running back, is still with Jacksonville. And Stephen Cooper, a linebacker, is with the Chargers.
And that's not counting Lofa Tatupu, the linebacker with Seattle, who transferred, who played at Maine and then transferred
to USC. Played on a couple of national championship teams.
My favorite
play clock expired.
Stephen King. I didn't know that. He's a Maine graduate. And my favorite hockey.
Number 7.
My favorite hockey announcer, Gary Thorne. And my favorite hockey coach, John Tortorella, the Tampa Bay Lightning, all Maine graduates.
Mike Bordick, former Major League shortstop, played baseball at Maine. Stephen King's a huge supporter of Maine athletics, and you frequently will find him in the stands at Alphon Stadium or in Alphon Arena to see the Black Bears men's and women's basketball teams play. In fact, his wife wrote a book about Cindy Blodgett, who was a legendary high-scoring basketball player for the Maine women's team and is now their new head coach. So there's a rich tradition of athletics at Maine, but it is a very tough place to recruit because it's tough to get to.
It's just tough to get to.
And,
but it's a beautiful place.
In the middle of the winter, they get some cold weather.
Oh, yeah. But what a beautiful place. And I'll tell you, what a great home it's been for Jack. Of course, played there. It's I think, a great experience to be able to go back and coach at your alma mater. We talked to him this week about the CAA and what that means for Maine. It's definitely going to pick up the competition in that conference.
Well, last week the CAA went 3-5 in non-league games, but 4 of those 5 losses were to FBS opponents. Villanova lost to Maryland. James Madison lost to North Carolina. Northeastern lost to Northwestern. There's the pitch. Oh, heck of a tackle made there in the perimeter by Jasper Howard, but the play is ruled down by contact.
Jasper Howard, another true freshman out of Miami. Watch the fill right here. Watch this. This is option football, assignment defense. That's a great play by a freshman. Definitely, the fumble was caused by the contact with the ground.
Farkas rolls left, throws, completes the ball across the middle. Ball's caught by Henderson. We're seeing a lot of action both on the ground and via the reception down the stretch.
I heard that hit all the way up here. Take a look at this collision now. That was Marcus Campbell right there, number 26. And boy, he has impressed me tonight. And that's a pretty good lick right there.
From nearby Bloomfield, Connecticut is Marcus. UConn's last shutout was September 5th in 2005, 59-0 over Liberty.
That's Marcus Campbell again.
Farkas wisely throws the ball away. But talking about the competition in the CAA, Massachusetts is in that league, and Massachusetts won all the way to the FCS championship game a year ago and lost to Appalachian State, who of course pulled off the tremendous upset over Michigan last week. There's that last shutout we told you about, and Liberty is an FCS opponent. It's one of those 5 FCS wins that UConn has since making the jump to 1A. And Jack Cosgrove was telling us this week the last time Appalachian State lost a game at home, and they've won 27 in a row at home, was to his Maine team in the opening round of the NCAA playoffs in 2002. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver Desmond Randall. And Jack told us the story before the game. The coach at Appy State, when they shook hands before the game, said, "Hey, coach, would you like a Snickers bar?" And he said, "You know, that's never happened to me before or since, and we won the game, so I don't know whether he's making that offer to any other coach."
That's Jerry Moore. I'll tell you what, the head coach at Appalachian State is a real character, and he has done. There's a tough night for Jack Cosgrove right there. But Jerry Moore at Appalachian State is, you know, I've done playoff games there 3 years in a row. Here we're just going to sit on the ball.
So a very impressive win for the UConn Huskies in their home opener. And based on what you saw tonight, Doug, what are your views of what Tyler Lorenzen will be able to do for Randy Edsall's team this year in the Big East?
Well, you know, I think that with Lorenzen and this strength of this defense and their ability to run the football and everything else, I mean, I'll be shocked if they are not right in the thick of it. I really do think they're that good, and the Big East is just getting better. Cincinnati, that coach that was hired, Kelly, is outstanding. Randy Edsall has done a tremendous job here. Schiano, who was a graduate assistant for me, is obviously doing a great job at Rutgers.
And had the opportunity to go to Miami after last season and chose to stay at Rutgers and finish the job. So here's Randy Edsall, and he's very upset with referee Gerard McGinn. I have no idea what that's about, and in a moment we hope to visit with Randy. But a very impressive win for the Huskies in their home opener, and they are now a perfect 5-0 in home openers since Rentschler Field first opened its doors back in 2003. They get 2 touchdown passes for Tyler Lorenzen and a touchdown run from Lorenzen in a 38-0 win over Maine in its home opener.